are the topics given in your syllabus in module 4. An emitter coupled differential amplifier, followed by transfer characteristics of the differential amplifier, IC, integrated circuit of operation amplifier, gain stages and output stages, electronic analog computation using an op-amp, nonlinear applications of op-amp, zero crossing detector, etc. Then precision rectifier, AC/DC converters, etc. Then peak detector, active peak detector, op-amp based peak detector, logarithmic amplifier, Schmidt-Tigar, again using the op-amp, active filters using op-amp. So these are the topics, application of op-amp basically. So at the beginning, we'll study the differential amplifier, and then its application you have to study in this module. So at the beginning, we are going to know some definitions regarding certain things which are applicable for differential amplifier as well as operation amplifier. So what is a differential amplifier or difference amplifier is here. A differential amplifier is an amplifier that amplifies the difference between two voltages and rejects the average or common mode value of the two voltages. Earlier we have seen the amplifiers like CS amplifier or CE amplifier. In that, source of signal to be amplified was 1. Am I correct? Aman? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The source was 1. That was, say, mic having some source resistance, and that source signal is very small. We have to amplify. So it has been applied to the base of a BJT based CE amplifier or gate of a MOSFET based CS amplifier. That is what we have so far known. Okay. Now here source will be 2 possibly. Okay, 2 source. So 2 signal are coming, and that has to be, difference of that has to be amplified. That is the concept here in differential amplifier. Yes, if one source can be grounded, that is different issue. We'll see that one source is one terminal of the differential amplifier is grounded, other one is applied with the signal. So that kind of things we'll discuss later on. But main purpose of this amplifier is to amplify the difference between 2 signals, and that signal are applied in this diagram. As you can see, the one is applied to positive terminal. We call it non-inverting terminal. Other ones, negative terminal is called inverting terminal. Okay, so B1 and B2 are the 2 voltages, signal voltages, which are applied, and difference between these 2 will be amplified by the amplifier, and common mode value or average value is B1 plus B2 by 2 is the average. So that average value should be rejected, not amplified, ideally. But in practical, still it is amplified, and we call it common mode gain when it is amplified, and for that we get some output voltage also. So gradually we'll study about these things. Okay, and the differential and common mode voltages are B1 and B2 are called the single-ended voltages. They are voltages reference to AC ground. Means this signal B1 is applied here, okay, with respect to ground, and B2 is applied here with respect to ground. Okay, that's what is the meaning of this. Reference voltage of these signals are with respect to ground. The differential mode input voltage VID is the voltage difference between this B1 and B2. That is VID equals to V1 minus V2. The common mode input voltage VIC is the average value of B1 and B2. That is VIC equals to B1 plus B2 by 2 average value. Okay. So we can write that V1 equals to VIC plus VID by 2 and V2 equals to VIC minus VID by 2. Can you write or not? Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So V out, output voltage here of this amplifier, differential amplifier, or here, okay, is AVD into VID, where AVD is the differential voltage gain, differential mode voltage gain, and AVC is the common mode voltage gain. So V out can be written as AVD into VID plus minus AVC into VIC. This is the average value. Okay, that is average value or this value. Okay, one call is coming. Let me take on the call. Karthik sir, I am in the class. So VIC you can understand, VID also you can understand. This is the VID. Okay, this is the VID. So we can write this one also in this way. V out equals to output voltage of this amplifier is AVD into 1 minus V1 minus V2 plus minus ABC into V1 plus V2 by 2. That is average value. Yes or no? Aman?
Yes, sir.
So simple things. Now some definitions like CMRR. One of the most important definition regarding this differential amplifier as well as operation amplifier. It is defined as the common mode rejection ratio, that is AVD divided by AVC. Differential mode voltage gain divided by the common mode voltage gain. It is the measure of how well differential amplifier in rejecting the common mode input in favor of the differential input. And its ideal value should be what? As high as possible, or infinity. Ideally infinity, but in reality it is not. Maybe a very high value but not infinity. Next, input common mode range, ICMR. The input common mode range is the range of common mode voltages over which the differential amplifier continues to sense and amplify different signal with the same gain. Gain remains constant for the common mode range, common mode value, that is DIC. So typically the ICMR is defined by the common mode voltage, that is VIC or not? VIC, common mode voltage, that is V1 plus V2 by 2, the average value of the input voltages, over which all the MOSFETs remain in the saturation region. Remember, normally when you will design a MOSFET based, or MOSFET based, we're talking mainly about the MOSFET based design right now from my previous lectures it is actually. So here the term MOSFET is coming because of that, because this lecture was based on MOSFET based CS differential amplifier and common different operational amplifier. Okay, so this thing is coming. Anyway, it can be for the VGT based also. So what I want to say you is, when we design a CS amplifier, for example, or that kind of MOSFET based amplifier, we bias the MOSFET in saturation region, because in saturation region GM is very high. We get high GM. GM is defined as delta ID by delta VGS, and this is very high in saturation region. And we know the gain of a CS amplifier is given by gain voltage gain CS amplifier is given by minus GM into RO parallel RD, or let me write this RD. Okay, suppose there is a this is a CS amplifier, right? I am not giving any bias, etc. You have applied the signal here, signal source here, and you are amplifying. This is RD. So its internal resistance is what? Or AC resistance? That is denoted by what? It is RO. RO or small RD also. Sometimes it is written RD. It is capturing what? Tell Aman.
CLM.
CLM. It is for CLM. So gain of this CS amplifier is nothing but RO minus GM RO parallel RD. Okay, this we have seen already, and hence it is known to us. So in saturation region, GM is very high compared to the GM in linear region. And we all know what is the condition for putting a MOSFET in saturation region. What is that condition? Can you remember?
Yes, sir. VDS is greater than VGS.
VDS is greater than equals to VGS minus VT. You are very right. Huh? So if this condition is satisfied, then this MOSFET is in saturation region. So to get high gain from the CS amplifier, we put this into saturation region. Okay, that is the reason. Okay. So what it is telling here that typically the ICMRR is defined by the common mode voltage range over which all the MOSFETs remain in the saturation region. See, if you little change something, bias current or voltage, then the MOSFET may go from saturation to linear region. Remember that. So biasing of a MOSFET in amplifier is very difficult. Unlike digital, in digital circuits, you will not bother about whether the MOSFET is in saturation or linear or cutoff. Okay, mostly the MOSFETs in digital circuits will be either in cutoff, means off condition, or it is in linear condition. Okay, so anyway, we don't bother about the region operation in case of digital circuits or memory circuits. But when you go for amplifier design, you have to be careful. You have to bias the MOSFET in such a way that it is operating in saturation region so that you get higher GM, and hence gain will be higher. That is the idea. So he's telling here that typically the ICMR is defined ICMR is defined as the common mode voltage range over which all the MOSFETs remain in the saturation region. Okay, that is the ICMR. The output offset voltage is the voltage which appears at the output of the differential amplifier when the input terminals are connected together. I mean to say, if you tie together these two joined together, okay, then if you get some output voltage, that is called output offset voltage. We are not supposed to get, but we get some voltage ideally. Input offset voltage is equal to the output offset voltage divided by the differential voltage gain. That is VOS out divided by AVD, where AVD is the differential mode voltage gain. Are the definitions understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these definitions will be applicable for differential amplifier or difference amplifier as well as operation amplifier, whether the differential amplifier or operation amplifier is based on BJT or MOSFET. Clear? More or less same is the definition. So we'll be just looking at as an overview to the MOSFET based operation amplifier and different stages of that very briefly, and then we'll jump into your textbook, whatever is given, and the syllabus we'll discuss. So what is an op-amp? The op-amp or operational amplifier is a high gain DC coupled, direct coupled amplifier designed to be used with negative feedback to precisely define a closed loop transfer function. That is the definition. The terms unbuffered and buffered is used to distinguish high output resistance, that is unbuffered, so high output resistance. It is if output resistance of an operational amplifier is having high output resistance, then it is called OTA, operational transconductance amplifier. High buffered, or sorry, unbuffered or high output resistance based operational amplifier is called OTS. Whereas buffered or low output resistance amplifier is called voltage operational amplifiers. Will you remember these definitions?
Yes, sir, we will.
So now operational amplifier is divided into, parts here or blocks. As you can see, this is the first stage is nothing but a differential amplifier consisting of two MOSFETs, basically 2 or 3 MOSFETs. If it is MOSFET based, if it is BJT based, then it will be BJTs. Then another stage, second stage, which is going to give you high gain, and third stage, which is going to give you low output resistance. And some biasing circuit is required always, okay, and some compensator circuit is also required. So this is the diagram and what each stage is telling. Let us read out and understand. The first stage is differential transconductance stage. Okay, what is transconductance? We'll say if a stage converts the voltage into current, then you call transconductance. You know transconductance, how we define? GM is defined as transconductance. What is the definition of that? Delta
Output
ID,
current,
delta ID, output current divided by
input voltage.
input voltage. Okay, so if a stage converts the input voltage to, okay, it gives current as output, then it is a transconductance stage, you can say. Differential transconductance stage is said because of that. This stage is called differential transconductance stage because it converts the input voltage into current. And sometimes provide the differential to single end of a conversion, means you are applying to different voltages, source voltages, but you take only one output here, two input, one output. That conversion is done by this stage sometimes. Sometimes, of course, it may also give the two output voltage also. We'll see that in diagram. Normally, a good portion of the overall gain is provided by this stage. It is not only converting from voltage to current and from differential input to single-ended output, but it also provides a lot of gain. This first stage. Second stage is the current sink inverter. If the differential gain input stage does not perform differential to single-ended conversion, then it is accomplished in second stage. So this second stage, sometimes you are taking two inputs. It is not giving the conversion from two input to one output. Then this stage also can perform this, and it gives a lot of gain also. To drive a low resistance load, the second stage must be followed by a third stage called buffer stage. This is the buffer stage whose output resistance is very low, so that it can drive a low resistance, output resistance. Bias circuits are provided to set proper DC bias for the condition. Bias circuit here. See, we just now said that BJTs or MOSFET in this case, we're talking about mainly MOSFETs. So MOSFETs should be biased in a saturation region to get higher GM, so higher gain. So that will be done by the bias circuits. We'll see what are those bias circuits in future slides. Compensation circuit is required to achieve stable closed loop performance. Now here we see that ideal characteristics of an ideal op-amp. You might be knowing this, still I have put here for you. An op-amp ideally should have infinite input resistance and zero output resistance and zero common mode gain. A, B, C is zero ideally, and infinite CMRR. Infinite CMRR is what? A, B, D divided by A, B, C. Okay, this should be infinite ideally. Then infinite loop gain. Gain should be very high or infinite. Infinite bandwidth. Gain and frequency multiplied gives you the bandwidth. Slew rate as high as possible. These are the basic characteristics of an operational amplifier, ideal characteristic, of course. And then for most practical cases, of course, the gain will be open loop voltage gain will be say 2000 or even more. Okay, unbuffered CMOS op-amp. Unbuffered is what then?
High output resistance.
High output resistance, high RO. We have simulated this op-amp in our cadence lab, VLSI design lab, and proper biasing and sizing. We got even this 79.3 dB, that is V out of D will be 9229. It's talking about 2000. We got more than 9000 V out of D in, but yes, gain bandwidth product may be less. You see, there is a always trade-off between gain and frequency. If we increase the frequency, gain will be dropped. So don't be surprised that this much gain has been obtained, but in theory it is written only 2000 in a practical op-amp. How it is possible? If you increase the gain, sometimes bandwidth will be reduced. Okay, that is the characteristic of op-amp. Are you getting, Aman?
Yes, sir.
Now op-amp is divided into different stages. Two stage op-amp is shown here. First stage is this, having this is your the differential transconductance stage, which converts the voltage into current. And this is the current mirror. We have just now seen CMOS based current mirror. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
You have
sir.
seen the current. This is the stage which converts the input current into voltage I to V. Okay, so this stage is converting current supplied by this stage, that is differential transconductance stage, and it is converting the current to voltage. And then this stage, I mean this part of the amplifier, is converting the voltage available at this gate into current. Once again, it is a transconductance stage, you can say, actually. And finally, this is a current to voltage converter, you can say. Okay, so Based on applied voltage here, available input voltage here, you get the output current flowing through this, and that current is getting converted into voltage at the output node. So we'll talk about this one by one once again in a different perspective. Say voltage to current stage is called the transconductor stage, this stage. And a current to voltage stage is called load stage. So we can say it is a current mirror is nothing but a load, active load. Active because it is active devices are used, MOSFETs are used. Okay, so here for this particular design of operational amplifier, this is the active load of this differential stage, or this two rather this stage itself combining all this is a nothing but differential amplifier. Okay, one is converting the voltage into current, and this one is its active load. The first stage consists of a source coupled differential pair. This is source coupled. The source of this MOSFET and this MOSFET. This is source, this is source. Source are tied together. So source coupled differential pair. These two are differential pair, converting the differential input voltage to differential currents. This is the differential current as the output. These differential currents are applied to a current mirror circuit load, recovering the differential voltage. Okay. Now, the differential pair and current mirror load combined together is nothing but a differential amplifier. The stage is nothing but differential amplifier. First stage is differential amplifier. Okay, operational amplifier. So if we talk about operational amplifier, two stage or three stage operational amplifier is talked about, then you must know that first stage of this two stage or three stage operational amplifier should be differential amplifier. Yes, Aman, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
If you are asked a question that you have a two stage or three stage operational amplifier and asked what will be the first stage of it, so what will be answer? You have a two stage op amp. As you can see, it is a two stage op amp. What is the first stage? Answer is what? First stage is a first stage differential amplifier, and this is from here to here. Okay, that is a source coupled differential pair and your current mirror load consisting these two along with the transistor M5, which is bias. Actually, bias current is being synced here. So altogether, this 5 transistor is nothing but differential amplifier. We'll see later on also. So this is the answer for that question. Second stage. The second stage consists of second stage is from here to here. These two MOSFET M6 and M7 is the second stage. This is nothing but a common source amplifier, CS stage, but this is with P MOSFET. Okay, P MOSFET based common source amplifier. This P MOSFET is loaded with current sink. It is going to sink current. Okay, this MOSFET M2 is sinking current. It's a current source, or you can say current sink, which converts the current ID supplied by M1 into voltage. Here you get the voltage at Vout because of the M2. The second stage is also nothing more than the current sink inverter. It is an inverter circuit, CS amplifier circuit. CS amplifier is inverting or non-inverting? Is inverting or not?
Yes, sir, it's inverting.
We wrote na gain equals to minus GM RO parallel RD. I wrote AV equals to this. This minus sign is indicating what?
Inversion.
Phase inversion. It's a phase inversion. So This is about the second stage. Once again, different stages are talked about, little bit described. The differential input stage, nothing but differential amplifier. The first or input stage provides a high input resistance to, in addition to gain, in order to avoid loss of signal level when amplifier is fed from a high resistance source. I mean to say, source is what your mic or microphone or any transducer or sensor that is sensing the voltage, that may have a high input source resistance. And if you don't have a high input resistance for this in this amplifier, then that will be a loss. And this thing we have discussed earlier also at the beginning, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that's what it's telling, that high input resistance. Why the input resistance is high of this amplifier? Can you say? Good morning. Here, input resistance is high. Why? Can somebody say? Aman or Ashtipati Pratham? Anybody?
Sir, because CMOS has high input resistance.
Yes,
Most
CMOS is having high input resistance because of
insulator silicon oxide.
SiO2. SiO2. You're talking about SiO2 or not?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. You are remembering. So differential input amplifier stage also provides large common mode rejection, that is CMRR, large CMRR. It provides CMRR, good CMRR, high value CMRR. Middle stage. The function of the middle stage is to provide the bulk of the voltage gain. Maximum voltage gain is obtained in the middle. This is the middle stage, where, or this stage, you can say. Okay. In addition to this, is giving the huge amount of amplification. In addition, the middle stage also provide conversion of a signal from differential mode to single-ended mode if differential output is not required. Okay. Hence, here you see that if suppose you had in the stage itself you got the single-ended output. If not, this would be converting into single stage. We'll see later on that the differential amplifier may also give the differential output instead of single output, as you see here. Now coming here, the middle stage also provides shifting of the DC level of the signal in order to allow the output to swing both positive and negative. That is also possible. It may give shifting of voltage level here, output voltage level. Here will be voltage level different. DC level I'm talking about. Here may be different. Last or buffer output stage. The main function of the last output stage is to provide a low output resistance in order to avoid loss of gain when a low valued resistance is connected to the amplifier. Suppose you are going to drive a speaker. So possibly you have another stage. This is two stages, maybe third stage. Okay, this may be considered as middle stage. Okay, middle stage. So if you have a third stage, another stage here, and its output will be low, output resistance RO will be low, so that you can drive a load RL, which is low value RL. Okay, low value RL. So that you can drive a low value RL. So you may have a third stage or output stage or called buffer stage to give low value RO. Understood? RO is of this block, last stage. Now CMRR already definition we have come across is a measure of how well the differential amplifier rejects the common mode input voltage in favor of the differential input voltage. Now slew rate is another term that we have not discussed. Delta VO, change in output voltage with time, delta T. or volt by per microsecond. The maximum rate at which the amplifier output can change in volts per microsecond is called slew rate. So SR specify the maximum rate of change of the output voltage when driven by a input step signal. If somebody try to drive the output at a rate of voltage change greater than the slew rate of the output would not be able to change fast enough and would not vary over the full range expected, resulting in signal clipping or distortion. Okay, so the output would not be amplified duplicate of the input signal if the op-amp slew rate is exceeded. Means, see, op-amp comes in a chip also. You know, you might have used there's an 8-terminal 8-terminal chip. Have you seen op-amp or not? Used?
Yes, sir. IC741.
IC741. So whenever the manufacturer is supplying or selling out in the market, they are specifying this slew rate, CMRR, or so many other things. Okay. So if somebody is exceeding this slew rate, then you may not get the proper output. There will be some clipping, or it will not be the amplified duplicate of the input. Output will not be the amplified duplicate of the, some distortion will take place. So that's what the slew rate is one of the important characteristics of a operational amplifier. Hello, Molly. मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ 332 VLSI सिस्टम लैब थ्योरी का जस्ट नेक्स्ट ओके now one stage operational amplifier. See, your differential amplifier is nothing but your one stage operational amplifier only. The first stage of the operational amplifier, what we have seen is nothing but one stage op-amp. You can call it one stage op-amp. This is what? This is the active load, active current mirror load. Load of the source coupled differential pair. Differential pair. Which is the differential pair? Source coupled? Tell, Aman. Aman, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Source coupled differential pair. Which is the differential pair? Which MOSFETs are differential pair?
Sorry, this is M1 and M2.
M1 and M2 are the differential pair. Okay. This is the differential pair. And its load, active load is the current mirror. This one is the active load. Okay. So this is the bias current, DC bias current, for which we have earlier shown. Not this is here showing a current source actually, or sinking, current sinking here. But in reality, you may be using a MOSFET here, and you will be biasing with some DC bias voltage. Okay, DC bias, maybe a battery. Okay, or something like that. Some voltage will be coming here to send a constant current through this. Okay, this will be connected here. Is it understood? This symbol is indicating a constant current is sinking on this differential pair. So this is called one stage operational amplifier, and its gain typically is about 20, and we have simulated got 39.47 dB, which is equal to 94.1 dB. Again, don't be surprised seeing the gain, so high gain. Yes, the high gain may be achieved if you compromise with frequency. The bandwidth will be less. Okay. Here is the circuit. What is the circuit? Can you tell something? What is the circuit? Identify something. Are you able to identify? Which is what? This is your differential pair. And this is the M5 or ISS DC bias current flowing through this. Sinking, this is sinking current. This node is grounded. See, this is. And some fixed bias is coming from this side. Okay. And this is source, it is called source coupled pair. And this is what? This is what? Tell.
Active load.
M3, M4.
M3, M2, that is active load of the differential pair. What for these are? These are. Can you think of what for these two are? See, whatever we have discussed earlier, we are not talking about the biasing circuit. I mean to say, this MOSFET will be on only when you apply VGS greater than VT or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
We know that this signal B in 1 is a small, very small signal generated by any transducer or pickup sensor, which may be in even microvolt. It's a microvolt. This also may be in the range of few microvolt, 1 or 2 or 10 microvolt, in the range of microvolt, right? If you apply this microvolt, will this be on? Will it be able to amplify?
No, sir.
Answer is no. So you have to make sure that it is on. Not only on, you should bias at what? Tell me, what region of operation?
Saturation region.
Saturation region. For that, we know that VDS should be greater than equals to VGS minus VT. Okay, that is the condition. So this condition has to be fixed. How we are going to fix? There is a way. You connect a resistance here, okay. There's a volt. Connect here some voltage. Okay. So this voltage is getting divided here. Suppose your VDD is equal to 1 volt and you have 1K, it is 1K, 2 resistance. So voltage at this point gate, what will be the voltage value?
0.5 volt.
0.5 volt, and possibly the threshold voltage of this MOSFET is 0.4 volt. So your purpose is solved. It is on, at least on, you can say. Now other things will be deciding, like this load is going to decide how much voltage is there, how much VDS is there within this. That also you have to take care. You have to see that it is in saturation region. So voltage value here and voltage value at the gate will decide actually whether this MOSFET is operating in saturation or linear region or cutoff region. Understood? That has to be taken care of, which is not so far discussed. But yes, we have simulated, and you see that we have biased it. See, the voltage at the gate of this MOSFET is coming from here. Okay, we are using active resistor. I mean, we are using, instead of passive resistor, we are connecting transistor here, which is acting as a resistor. It's nothing but a voltage divider with active resistor. Could you understand, Aman?
Yes, sir.
Same thing for this one, biasing the other transistor on the right side, this side, this transistor. What you did? See this coming here, and it is tapped from this node. It is also doing the same voltage division, and with that voltage division, we have biased it. If you carefully look at this, I don't know whether you are able to see or not, because in your computer, it may not be clearly visible to you. See, the DC operating condition is clearly saying DC analysis has been done on this circuit, and hence we are getting some voltage at this node. What is the voltage at this node? What is the voltage is coming here, and then numerically it is given. Are you able to see this? Can you read out, anybody? No. I'll be reading out. At the source, this is the source, this is drain. At the source, voltage is 99.2495 M. M is millivolt. Are you getting? At the source, it is 99.2495 millivolt. Means around 100 millivolt is the source voltage. 100 millivolt I am writing. This write up is, you are understanding my own handwriting?
Yes, sir.
And this one, the drain voltage is 537.989. Sorry. So it is 50. Let me once again write it. This voltage is 537.989. So I can roughly write 538. Yes or no? 538 millivolt. So VDS is what? VDS is how much?
438.
438 millivolt is the VDS. Good enough for us. And VGS is what? At the gate, what is applied here? This is the value, and it is 500. You see that same voltage. This voltage and this voltage is same. 500.697. Okay, it is 500. Let me write 500 millivolt is the, or 501 millivolt is the voltage at this point gate, and VT of this MOSFET is around 0.4 volt threshold voltage. Then what is the VGS minus VT? VGS minus VT is what? 500 millivolt minus 400 millivolt is equal to 100 millivolt. This is the VOV, or VGS minus VT equals to 100 millivolt. So VDS greater than or equals to VGS minus VT, that condition is satisfied or not?
Right.
Satisfied. So it is operating in saturation region. Similarly, same thing has been done for the left MOSFET, this one. Same thing. So it has taken time to design it. If you come later on in this lab, you will try to simulate it. You will take weeks together to get this value. If you don't know the size of this MOSFET, W by L of this MOSFET, if you don't know the current value here and other things, size of these MOSFETs. You will take even months together to simulate this thing, to get accurately get these MOSFETs in saturation area. That's what I wanted to say. And we got the 20 dB gain or 39.4.47 dB when I simulated it. Anyway, the same circuit it is. Now designing the operation amplifier needs a lot of numerical analysis. Okay, and it is quite lengthy. I used to teach earlier to PG students. Now I'll be just showing only these slides. Others have been hidden here. You'll not be able to see. So what is the condition? You have to see as a summary. I have put here that slew rate SR is defined as I5 by ICC. I5 means current to this one. ISS we have seen earlier. That and this. I5 that ISS divided by CC. This is the compensating capacitor. Miller compensating capacitor. Compensation was there now. One block is there. Compensation circuitry. So this is Miller compensation capacitor. So SR should be decided by I5 by CC, assuming I7 much greater than I5. I7 is much greater than I5. You have sized in such a way these two transistors that I5 much greater than I7. And CL is greater than CC. This is the CL. That is the one condition or things to be considered for designing. The first is gain AV1 is given by the AGM, GM1, GM of this one, and GDS of 2 and GDS of 4. GDS of 2 and GDS of 4. GDS is defined as what? GDS is delta ID by delta VDS is called the GDS. Okay, and 1 upon GDS equals to RO. RO defined for the CLM. Are you getting my point? So here basically 1 upon RO. These are 1 upon RO of this one and 1 upon RO. It is GM1 divided by 1 upon RO2 plus 1 upon RO4. 2 and 4. This is 4 and this is 2. So first stage gain will be decided by this, and second stage gain AV2 is the GM of this M6 divided by GDS of 6 and GDS of 7, and gain bandwidth or product or GBP equals to GM1 by CC. GM of this one and divided by CC. This is in brief. These are the conditions to be kept in mind for designing the CMOS based operation amplifier. This operation amplifier, whatever you are seeing here. Okay. There is a lot of calculation. Based on calculation, we do the design, but I am skipping here because we have to do something else. So this is the by proper sizing and biasing of the MOSFET, we got a gain of 79.3 dB, which is going to be 9,229, as I said earlier also. This is what the diffusion amplifier, and same thing here. Another op amp is here the two-stage op amp. Here is the PMOS based CS amplifier, and its load here or current sink here. Okay, other part is same. This other part is same. It is a single stage operation amplifier, or simply to say DPAM, differential amplifier. The second stage is here. Are you getting, Aman?
Yes, sir.
And it is simulated, and you have got certain results as is mentioned here. Okay, and inverting based on op amp, whatever we have designed, inverting zero crossing detector. It is inverting zero crossing. Inverting means why it is inverting? When you see the negative pulse is coming at the input, the output is becoming high. So it is inverting. We'll say another one which is non-inverting. Non-inverting means when input is making a positive excursion, then your input is making a positive, so you get here also output is also positive. Output is also positive. So non-inverting zero crossing detector, and this is the outputs. So differential amplifier, what is the time now? Is there?
No, sir. Time over.
Time over. Okay, I'll be continuing from here onwards in the next class. So decide, Pratham, decide the time. I mean, this boy is there, Harsh Tripathi. No, you decide the time and date for the class which I have missed. So leave the class and attend other classes.